due to some other reason. But they try to renew, but they are not able to renew certain bending of some other issues. So in this case, they waived this penalty. Why? Because they have the genuine reason. We are ready to register, we are doing the taxable supply, but we tried, but we are not able to do because of your license is not renewed. License, why not renewed? There are some other reasons. So the reason is genuine, they can waive the fees also. But here another trigger point, what the client faced on, up to August, I didn't collect the VAT. But when we are talking about the scope of work, section 3, you registered or you are obligated to register, you are responsible to collect the VAT. This is law says. Law clearly interpreted, if you registered or you are obligated to register. So here, they are crossing the mandatory limit, they doesn't have the TRA number, so they didn't collect the VAT. What is exactly liabilities? That also department is waived. They agreed from the tax registration date, August. After August, they insist to collect the rent. This initially they are giving the privileges. Maybe the next year we don't know. The first year they can give some privileges. Next year we can't expect the privileges. Just sharing of the experience only.
Thank you very much, sir. So we have a question from the audience who is watching live in YouTube.
Yes.
It's actually not a question, it's an advice. Like there are a lot of people, even now in UAE, who still think that UAE government will take out the VAT implementation. So what is your advice to those class of people who are still waiting outside?
So as per my experience, the rumor is rumor. Okay? Rumor, there is no answer. Rumor, initially what happened, the law, sorry to say, I know the crown prince, I know the prince. If I go and say they will remove the VAT, this is all happening from the customers. This is a rumor, definitely no. Definitely, there is, as per my experience, there is no possibility to remove the VAT. And also, I am asking question why? Simple question. The law, when they implemented the law, they are very clear. They have the budgets. They have the plan. Is my revenue, I am expected revenue is 20 billion in 2019. We have the budget plans to, what is the infrastructure they are going to construct, a school, hospital, road, bridges, everything. They have the clear plan. If they want to withdraw this one, they have to get more revenue from other way, or somebody has to give the money, or they have to cancel the plan. Nothing will be possible. There is no possibility to waive the VAT. They may expect they can give some privileges for zero rated or exempted item, maybe some food item, they can. That is possible. For wiping off the law 100%, as per my experience, as per my perspective, no possible.
That is a crystal clear answer, sir. Thank you very much. May I request our CEO, Mr. Sajid Kumar PK, to kindly lead the Q&A session, sir, please.
Thank you, Mr. Robertson. It was a wonderful presentation. Yeah, sure. Actually, about what is concerned, you were explaining about that the transparency and discipline, how this business is bringing across UAE. Yeah. One concern, that means the awareness about the VAT implementation, how to proceed and all. We are taking these sessions for spreading that information, such as a wonderful presentation and all. But from the government side, VAT implemented, but about spreading the advices or the information to the public. Do you expect any action from the government side?
No. As per my experience, the government, I feel, they did the enough awareness program. See, normally, when the government given the awareness program, I told the same things, the VAT will not come. I no need to waste time to join that VAT programs. Even I know, they made the programs in all the Emirates. Even Dubai itself, as I attended more than 4 or 5 programs. Abu Dhabi itself, I attended 3 programs. The ministry with the association with the Chamber of Commerce, with other business peoples, even IBBC, even lot of business communities, they did the awareness programs. But thing is, I don't want to be awareness, I don't want to know awareness, it will not come if you are adamant, government will not do. And another, sorry for interruption. Yeah, sure. And another way, we have the labor. we have the labor approval, we have the immigration approvals, we have the law, we have the labor law. The government is never says to this is a labor law, you need to know. The law is law. You need to know the other things.
Definitely, I'm not denying all those aspects. However, the corporate social responsibility concern to the respective, the nationalities from the embassy side or consulate side, government of UAE taking that the cream crowd on that. But this VAT is applicable for the grocery level onwards. But certain category, they are not at all aware about this, the penalty matter and all these kind of activities are very less considering to that. So even though this program also, so maybe watching that, no, so we are open to all, however, certain classes only watching that. So what all are possibilities to spread across that, no, all the classes, so even though the different association level, so these people are not at all, involved with the association activities also. So what is your views on that, even though the government, if it is taking such steps by providing this information?
No, I'll tell you about when you are talking about the association, most of the association which one is related to the business and professional firms and business and professional activities, I think they did. I can't say that nobody did the awareness. And even myself, you take myself, I train more than 5,000 people as a free of cost, even not only for the Dubai, Ras Al Khaimah, even I started in the remote areas, Ras Al Khaimah, Fujairah, even here, Madinat Jumeirah, Ruwaizes, everywhere as a free, because to get the awareness of the peoples. Why we did, that is what I told the CSR activity. As a professional, I'm doing practice here last 15 years. So ultimately, I feel to make awareness of the peoples. We are doing even most of the professionals, they did their own levels, whatever the possible way to make the awareness with the peoples. They did. You see, the people feel, I am exempted, I am zero rated. If you are misunderstood the law, if you are adamant to not to learn, how we can inject the people. This is my experience.
That is certain categories only.
Yes.
But the other people, they don't know about this, what will be the negative impact it's coming
so
up.
that they need to approach consultant,
yeah,
your IBBC, your IBC people.
Definitely, that is coming up. That's why we have taken this CSR also. Yes. Thanks for your input on that. A lot of Indian players also would like to come down to UAE because this discipline is coming up and the standardization is also coming up and the price, the stability is also coming up into that all aspects. So everything is clear. But one doubt is there from Indian players. So how this VAT will be affected for in the case of UAE-India bilateral treaty? Anything is applicable or not?
Bilateral, okay. Sorry, you asked the questions to Mr. Ramesh also. I will clarify certain things with your permission. When you go for the bilateral agreement, the VAT impact will not be there. This is VAT is totally for the consumable tax that is called indirect tax. It is within the perspective. Right. When you are talking about the bilateral agreement, it is related to income tax.
Yes.
That is a individual income tax. Yeah. When we are talking about the individual income tax, DHABI, that agreement, the UAE have more than 55 countries that agreement. So out of that, what it is says, what the government wants, the mutual benefit, because to avoid the double taxations. Because I am a person, individual person, I have the business in India, both the places, for the single transactions, if I am earning money here, I am transferring money to India, example. So why, if I am paying tax here, why I need to pay tax there also? This is a NRI perspective, nothing. Another way, the people who resident in India, I am talking about the India, like this, they have the 55 countries, this agreement. When the people doing business in India, they are doing the business here. The same person, here the main point is same person, not different persons. They are doing business here, they are getting revenue, here the tax is applicable, they are claiming as an income, tax on income, they are paying the tax. Again, when the fund, this income is transferring to India, India will apply the tax, means the individual single income, they are going to pay the two taxation. For avoiding the two taxation only, the agreement is helps, between the agreement is helps. This is the logic. For that, they have the procedures. Okay. What you need to do. For you to simply say, you ask the tax residency certificates.
Right.
That's the tax residency certificate, the rules and the procedures they set up by the Ministry of Finance.
Yes.
They have the three categories. One is for residency certificates for individuals and corporate, private limited, private companies and public limiteds. They have the three categories. Normally, for that they have the procedures, minimum 6-month-old company. You can't come and start the company today to take the tax resident certificate, you put all the incomes to transfer the fund. Not possible. The company should be minimum 6 months, and also you should have the audit balance sheet. They have the procedures, audited balance sheets, and they have the procedures to apply, how to take and everything. As the individual person, I have to pay, I think, around 2,000 for ministry fees. As a corporate, they are charging 10,000 dirhams.
Okay.
But once you apply, you will get minimum 3 to 4 working days after getting the approval.
Okay.
For approval, they will ask you your residency, your rental agreement, your license copy, that normal formalities, license copy, memorandum, passport copy, shareholders, and blah, blah, everything. And that rental agreement, because the rental agreement and financial statement. Yeah. Certain situations they are asking as a bank statements also. Finally, this is a decision by the authority. Authority, whatever information they required, they will deem fit.
Perfect. Good answer. And one more question is there, considering that the high-level national players, they want to come down to UAE.
Okay.
And the big task is Indian rupee fluctuation.
Yes.
The recent UAE-India currency swap agreement, how it will support for them to come down to?
You see, I am not very much aware of that one, but what I know, that because of the currency fluctuations, the people who is nationals, in UAE nationals, they can operate the rupee account in India. I hope so, I think so. I'm not very much practically involved. But I came to know this, I am aware of that one. They can operate, they can avoid the fluctuations, currency fluctuations.
So, their books of accounts, they can able to manage, all right?
Yes.
Thank you so much, Mr.
Thank you.
And first, one more question from the public, actually, that got just now only. The taxation part, everything is clear, and filing part, everything is clear. But practically, the difficulties what people are facing, getting the invoice, predated invoices. Okay. So, they are saying that no, they are getting the invoice after the period of the tax, VAT period. Okay. They are getting this invoice and they don't know what to do that. And the other people are saying that within that period itself, they have marked. So, how to settle this matter?
No, I'll tell you. The law clearly says, I told you, when you made the supply, the date of supply is important. Once the date of supply is determined, as per law, you have to issue the invoice within 14 days. This is the law. So let us assume your transaction is happened end of the tax period, 31st March.
Yes.
So before 14, you have to file the return 28. You have 28 days, but you can issue the invoices within 14 days. Ultimately, the law is covered. In practice, that is what I told you, the accounting discipline. Now the accounting discipline is required because I can say some cargo companies, some shipping companies, they made the service in February, they will get invoice in December.
Right.
That's not possible now. That is one side. Another side, I can say directly as my experience of accounting and profession, the other thing, this company doesn't have the proper P&L account monthly. If they have the proper P&L account, they will ask the suppliers, give me your invoice at least within 15 days. They didn't close the books of accounts monthly. Some people are asking me, why I want to close the books of accounts monthly? This is a question I'm asking. Yes. The investor that doesn't know. That disciplines now it is creating. As a accounting policy, as a accounting procedures, you need to close the books of accounts. You should know the reporting, MIS reports to the managements within some particular period. They should understand what is the last month performance.
As a CSR activities, if all public watching this session, and if more questions are coming, whether as a CSR, are you interested?
I'm always available to give the answers in respect of the business and in respect of the certain law and legalities. Even I can display my number. I can say in Dubai number 00971 506797 Even you can go and check my address www.aspauditing.com. You can get my contact number from that website or www.aspauconsultancy.com. The both website is available for me. Anytime you can send mail or you can call me. I will give the with my experience, I can give the solutions for your answers.
Definitely, through this UAE India Business Fest, you can able to get all the professional information. You can also write directly to IBMC. We will pass on and we will also try to help out you.
Even I want to say that one, I am ready to go with the IBMC also. Even you can forward to me on behalf of any business people. Anytime I am ready to support.
Anyway, we all are associating. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
Thank you very much, Dr. Elvaration. May I request our CEO, Mr. Sajid Kumar, to kindly hand over a token of respect to Dr. Elvaration, please. So please accept.
Thank you. Well done.
Thank you very much, sir. That was a very wonderful presentation, a detailed insight on value-added tax in UAE and the business implication by Dr. A.S. Elvaration, the founder and chairman of ASP Group. Thank you very much once again, sir. Thank you. We move on to the next topic for the day, the future of technology-oriented education with special focus to artificial intelligence and IoT. And our speaker for the day is Mr. Adnan Mohammed bin Abdullah, chairman of Al Ansar Group of Companies, United Arab Emirates. A few words about Mr. Adnan. Mr. Adnan, he believes that everyone's lifestyle is interrelated of how much literacy and knowledge that they have. He's a strong believer that the learning from the cradle to the grave. Adnan is a sole entrepreneur and the founder and chairman of 3 companies, Al Ansar Group and Itcan International Education Research, Bahanas General Trading, and Advice Advertising. He's a self-esteemed developer, trainer, and mentor. He has spent 17 years working in business development and information technologies field. He decided to lead and create the real development by using latest technologies, striving to help new generation to live with sophisticated technologies. Adnan's education aspect continued, where he became a lecturer for the Dubai government, employees certified by Dubai Human Resource Department. His objectives became more realistic and valuable, believing that literacy is the path of nation's development. He has received his bachelor's degree in computer information science from the University of Dubai and a master's degree in quality management from Wollongong University in Dubai and a master's degree in business administration from Columbus University in US. He is a business consultant in smart technologies and smart education, AR, VR, artificial intelligence, and IoT. Most welcome, Mr. Adnan.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum. Okay. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I think after a long journey with the IBMC UAE-INDIA Fest, today is the day where everyone is here celebrating the achievement of the business associations. Lots of discussion, lots of opportunities, starting from Dubai and ending up in Abu Dhabi. Personally, I've really appreciating the big efforts being kept here. And this year was a very important topic of artificial intelligence, IoT, and fintech. So talking about the latest technology is always like now the entire world is all running, doing research and development of new solutions which will help everyone, business people, governments, and even individuals to really understand and catch up the future trend of these technologies involving in our daily life. So from that perspective, what actually we need how do we really put ourselves aligned with this big upcoming changes within a short time period? Like before we were talking about 10 years time, now I'm sure it will be less, 5 years time. New things will show up, different mindset will happen to the technology. So we thought about what exactly, what do we need to catch up with this technology? So we need to involve this technology with education. We need to teach ourselves, to teach the next generation how to really deal with the new technologies. So before that, we need to implement this within education. Especially when we start with the very early school, new generation, new kids, they're very attached with the technology. But the technology today they are attached to is very simple. It could be a tablet, could be a social media, pages. So all these pages and technologies and from the software and the hardware, they contain information. This information are the knowledge, are the element to teach the next generation about the technology, about the future and the development. So how do we utilize this? How do we really work towards this technology and make them make it a real use of these technologies? And how will the technology help the student? So we need to create something which will provide, which today is also available, provide the multimedia to address all the learning styles. Of course, multimedia is like from audios, videos, pictures, all, but it should be related and contain of the learning aspects. Interactivity in learning, it is also very important that we should interact the students along with the technology. Today we see different online classes, which is one of the things which has started earlier, but there should be someone interacting with the student. But if we are talking about the next step of the computer teaching the students, means there is no physical teacher behind the technology. There will be a brain, the computer brain. It is an artificial intelligence, but we are talking more deeply about quantum computing. That is even a next step, a next development of the artificial intelligence. Means the computer, the student who sits behind the computer really understands the pattern of the student and give the right information. How? There's so many different ways now. It's still evolving and under the development part, where there will be a sensors, sense your emotion, faces, out of your body heat, your face recognition, your eyes movement. So this type of technology behind it, it's that analysis. So that analysis will happen within a second, and then we'll analyze. A person who sits behind the computer will need this type of question today. There will be some questions computer will ask you to even analyze further. Today mode, today level of understanding, this is very important, because as a human, if we sit with a student, We don't know. Today there's a class full of 30 students, 35 students. Not even a single student is similar to the student next to him in terms of intelligence, in terms of understanding, in terms of mood. So the teacher goes and gives this subject for everyone, same thing. Out of 30 or 35 students, how many percentage they have understood the right message which comes from the teacher? I doubt is even 2%. There will be different understanding. So the technology, what the technology will do is will understand the student. That's very important. Understanding the student and giving the right questions. So imagine with me there is a class of 30 students. Every student is behind a computer, and then a computer analyze the student and give all of them the same subject with the same quantity, but in different way. Understanding this student today intelligence, because every day we are different. Every day we are in different mood and different. The brain goes in different way every day. Also, the technology also definitely will help the teachers. They will not, for sure that teachers will not be kept away from that teaching, but they will use the technology also to help them how to set a right understanding, a right subject for the day. So there's a lots of things after the teaching part, after the giving the materials to the student. The tuition costs. Of course, today, lots of people, they are just concerned about the cost going higher and higher and higher, and they cannot afford. They have one children, second children, third children. Some people have 4. Then they have to think about this. People who can afford it, some people cannot afford it. So, like the majority number of people, they will be only afforded to a certain level. So the education or the learning or the schools on the internet will be way different in cost. Actually today is different courses given online, different schools online, different universities online, different tuitions, different costs. So people can afford, and they can pay in very relaxed payment methods. So that is also an impact of the technology for the upcoming technology. That will be more. Now we can see some of them, but sure and definitely it will be in different way and different costs as well. What will the modern education change? Of course, it will affect the aspiration of the citizenship. Once the way of teaching will change, the cost of change will change, then the people in the community, the society people, they're willing to learn, willing to they will strive to go and learn more and more through the computer, using the technology, because the trust will increase. How it will increase? Because even the material they will get, they will be more confident to get the right material whenever they want. It should not be only the time in the morning or in the afternoon. It's just that time when we have the teachers. But still, that will be encouraging for them. For the entrepreneurship, if they want to learn about business, they want to learn more about how to set up their companies, how to increase income, profit. So all this type of learning materials will be available there. So it is available, and this is how the technology is changing it. Of course, knowledge-based economy driven by innovation, research, science, and technology. Now, lots of technologies, research and development companies using technology to help them to make their research and how to develop and how to increase productivity and more innovations using human brains and computer brains. So all this, you know, both brains working together, human and technology, it is also helping more to, you know, get more results, more effective results, more innovations. This is the objective of digitizing the education, ensure inclusive quality education per schools, attract and prepare students to enroll in higher educations, internal and external in light of labor market needs. So by understanding the students, as I mentioned earlier, and the computer will be giving the guidance. It's like an assessment we make. The computer will give, this is the student, this is the person who is behind the computer learning. This is the level of the student, what are the areas that can improve, and then this is the field that you can focus on, improve yourself there, and you will be, it's like analyzing, it's like detecting the right skill and talent of the person and giving it advice to go further and understand and dig more in that area and be a lead or an expert in that field. Of course, it will ensure quality, efficiency, and good governance of the educational and institutional performance, including the delivery of the teaching. As I mentioned, strengthen the capacity of scientific research and innovation in accordance with the quality. It's all about the quality of education here. It will be more stronger. Why? I just mentioned the reason, because computer is barely difficult to make mistakes. The computer works 24/7. There is no mood for the computer. As long as the power is there, as long as the data is there, and the learning, the brain of the machines learning and evolving, then the trust will be high, because the teacher might have certain hour. We are human. We have to rest. The computer will never rest. So imagine that worldwide, and the learning is going everywhere and every time, and you know, non-stop during to the different timing between countries, different timing between different materials from different universities and schools. So by the time there will be a culture, it will be initiated. The culture will be established. The innovation culture will be established. Everyone will have easy access, and even more. There will be more. Let's say passion or encouragement to go and search, because they are almost certain that they're going to find what they are looking for with the technology. So these are the points we already mentioned. So yes, this is the most important, maybe, technologies which will be interacting with education, and these are the opportunities actually. How can we develop these technologies to help education? Of course, not just education, as I mentioned as a first point, in every part of our life, technology will be involved. For education, just mentioning that technology which will be helping the education materials, the syllabus, the courses. And augmented reality. Augmented reality, I'm sure that if you know about the augmented reality, it's a type of technology which augment the objects out of the box or out of the reality, where you can go and program a technology, point out on different pictures and markers, and then it will pop up informations. So this kind of learning can be used for learning, for marketing, for commercial. It can be used in different way, but mainly it gets you the information out of the reality. It means you walk a place and just you point, for example, on any brochure or any picture, and then it will give you, for example, if you walk in this an Emirates Palace, and then you see pictures, is just pictures, and if we want to educate or teach the tourist or the student about these pictures, about the history, and then within an application they can point out the camera on that picture and it will pop up all the information. So this is one kind. In the box as well, we have done with the Ministry of Education a pilot on 3 different books, and for the class grade 8 and 9. Yes, we have done in 3 different subjects. One is physics, biology, and physics, biology, and science, where we have augmented some pages of one. I just give you one example. There was one in class in grade 8. There was a page of how to create the electricity circle. Then in the page there's a subject with a picture of that electricity circuit, and then what we have made is like we have made an application where the student were able to point out on that picture and augment a real-time light circuit, and they can interact and create. So whatever that they learn in the book, they can create in the class where they're sitting with their with the other students and create the circuit. So they can try, make errors, and then until they get the right way to create the circuit, either it is a parallel circuit or a circuit, so there are different circuits. So that's augmented reality. Artificial intelligence, I mentioned about artificial intelligence in the beginning, how to understand the student, how to give the right questions, the right assessment, and then the right results to give to the student, for the parents, for the teachers as well, or the school. So that will be also needed there. Virtual reality, it's the wearable glasses. You can just experience the 3D environment through the glasses and look at the things around. We have done one experiment for RTA, Dubai Transportation Authority in Dubai, about the taxi drivers. They wanted to teach the taxi driver how to, they want simulations for taxi driving within Dubai roads and areas. So we have created one. Also, it was just a trial project for them, where the taxi driver sits on a seat and wear the virtual glass, and then virtually there's a steering. They catch the steering and then they do the ride in Dubai. It's like how they drive the taxi with all information. There's information comes in the glass. So that was a trying for them. Actually, it got a very good results. The technology need more to be developed on. It is very good technology, but it depends on the organization or the company who would like. Even it can be used for different training perspectives, for airplanes, for oil companies, for so many things. game-based learning, we also had an experience with Ministry of Education, a full game application game. They have implemented on the student how to eat healthy, how to shop healthy, how to live healthy by giving these games questions, walking. There's some steps like if you want to pass one level to another level, then you have to make a step. So all these kind of technology and just making the understanding of how this technology helps the education and training. 3D printing, of course. 3D printing today is like, it's a huge part. It started with the medical. They printed out human tissues like ears, nose, and they made operations. And it is, if you go to YouTube, then you can find this more about the information. IoT, it's a part. IoT, it is the interactivity, the real interactivity between human and the technology, in terms of different. Today, I'm sure, like most of us, or all of us, saw the some of smart, or they called green buildings, when you go and then the lights goes on while the time that you walk in. So there is a sensors used for IoT to detect the movement and to give you the service or the result out of movement. Imagine that is an IoT. When I'll give the example. For example, you have a smart home. This is your home is smart. Everything is connected to the sensors, and that sensor connected to the main cable. That main cable has a software. You have the software on your mobile application, and there is a communication between you and your home. For example, you finish work and you want to go home, and you want the AC in the room to be on. So you reach there and the room is cold and you want to have a rest. Then by the time that you leave the work, the home will understand that you're already leaving, going home, coming towards home, and then it will switch on the AC. So while you're reaching there, you have another example is a fridger. It will have these sensors, and then when you put some food there, if there is a near expiry food, they would send you a message. This is going to expire. This is all by scanning and sensors. So many ideas, so many technologies are there. So these are the technology which will shape the future. Today we need a generation who really understand how to deal with the hardware. Software means that we need them to start learning the coding, the language of the computer, and how to interact, innovate along with these computers. These are the ecosystem, as I mentioned. Everything is here. About the ecosystem in which learning adapt to each child instead of each child trying to adapt to the school. So I think it is. And this is us. Thank you very much. And I hope you have enjoyed and learned something out of this one. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Adnan. Any questions to Mr. Adnan from the audience? Yes.
And then they have to improve and they have to, learn something new. Now, we are checking the mindset of the person, mood of the person. Is there any initiative which connects even the physiology or the biology of a person to see that, okay, my testosterone level is low now,
yeah,
and my cortisol is quite high. Is there anything like people are thinking about how to improve the testosterone by boosting the hormones in the brain or reducing the cortisol level, so I'll be ready for, is there anything coming up like that?
That is a very deep question. And personally, I've seen some of the technologies which you take your, there's a small machine, it's like this machine, the fingerprint machine, like the one that we use in the offices. but it is meant to be reading the fingerprints and then getting the result of what is your competent, which are the area where you are good at or good in, and where are the different area where you need to improve. Then how to stimulate this and improve it. Then you need an advisory who tells you you have to go, for example, you have to go for a walk, or you have to go, because understanding that human brain, it is the most powerful machine. So either you understand how to use the conscious and subconscious mind, if you're familiar with, and stimulate the subconscious mind to give you the push out of it. So means the machine will identify things where you have weaknesses or you need some development, and then there should be an action. That isn't always like, it should be an action. Without this, I'm sure that it is the way that will help the brain to stimulate and change the mood and be more aggressive to learn more, even after long work hours. But I think it depends always on us, if we want to make a time and prioritize things. This is I think what
because maybe they will connect. Biology is the future programming.
With this regard, there is what I have seen. There is experiment going on, research and development on that. They put this machine on the human brain and understand, and then send pulse and waves and vibrations to stimulate that nerves. So this is what I've seen is only for in research and development. This is what, but as for the human to use, like commercialized, nothing yet in the market, I believe so.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Mr. Adnan, it is a wonderful presentation. So I have one question about the privacy. See, now each and every moment of us is some software or some programs are monitoring us. Is it a real threat in future, our privacy related issues?
It is what? Sorry again.
Like,
price?
Like every moment of our movements tracked through some softwares or some applications. Is it a real threat for our privacy in future?
It's not really. I mean, see, governments need to start work on how to govern all these kind, because it will be the database. The big data is the next era. Today we see Google, you see any applications, Facebook. I mean, if you open your application and you are interacting with their software, they give you the history for the last 5 years, what they have done, and they will give you predictions. So this is a database. That is a privacy. We as a human, we should be aware how to use, how to interact with this, and to what level, to provide our privacy there. And there should be governance, like in the government. I mean, even the government of UAE, we have a legacy and rules and regulation of using the applications and privacy of people. This is also one of the things will provide us a security, kind of security. But we should be aware. We have to learn how to deal with this in the future, because it's gonna be dangerous on people if they don't know how to use it, and they're gonna claim at the end, oh, they have broken our privacy and things like this. Of course, by improving, things will improve as well.
Recently, I saw some articles for $50 personal information of some particular person, you can get it. So that kind of threat is there.
Yeah, people use it. People do business. People this is what they do. They go and grab information. Now, data analysis, you go to the internet and you unstructured information, and then you make like a data analysis, and you get analysis about me. And then you say, oh, I can use this information. But again, I mean, it is not that dangerous actually, because as I mentioned, that today is like, if you feel someone is threatening you with database or showing your privacy things, then always you can go and claim, go open a case against them, because it is not. But it will change. See, what will happen is like now we are in the time of transforming the new generation, the the 2010 or 2018 newborns. They will be their mind will be different. Their mindset will be different. How to deal with technology, so they will know how to protect themselves. They will know the rules regulation will be more adapted, for everyone. So I think.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions? May I request Mr. Sajid Kumar, our CEO, to kindly lead the Q&A? Thank you.
Thank you.
And as usual, it was a wonderful presentation. And now all technology is leading the world. And as he was mentioning about that all the threats, whenever we are making more secrecy, it is opening up. So I hope that the cyber law will protect in future. Considering UAE, first Minister for AI, and more supportive action for that all modern technologies and all. Where do you see the opportunities for business and investments in this area?
Yeah, this is a very good question. Actually, the opportunity is very huge. The government of UAE, especially the Ministry of Artificial Intelligence, they are widely opening the hands to work closely, especially in technology, with India. It's a huge opportunity. We need companies who can manufacture semiconductors. They can do the PCs, the computers. We need companies who, we need people who will know coding, about different area of coding. So we need the resources for this. Yes. To work on, build smart cities, build different technologies in it. Right. For sure, it is very huge in every and each aspect of technology. We have database analysis, big data. That is it is a technology, but it requires different understanding of coding and analyzing the data. So that is another also opportunities. So many opportunities are.
Perfect. Again, technology is coming to more focusing to the person. GPS also from the place to person. So wherever we are working, that also we can able to watch into that. So however, the cloud-based the security level. So where do you see that the hacking and this if it is opening up the safety and security level, this even though the cloud level so more the hostings are happening. Yeah. So nowadays, how we can able to trust the hosting companies?
Yeah, that is a matter of trusting. It is like if I want to sustain in the market, then I want to make sure and ensure that your data is not even accessible to me.
Yes.
So I should work in an intelligent way to reach to that confident level, to give you that confident level that you deal with me. This is one. Second, now there is like companies providing iCloud-based computing and for storage and for database. But still, every company and every person can create his own database. Because like it is your home. Means that your home, you just keep whatever in your home you know and your family knows about it. No one else knows about it. So to that understanding, to that level, we have to create our understanding of how to create how to protect our database.
Yeah, again, protection is coming. Then of course the blockchain is coming to that, the safety and security level. However, the regulatory perspective, the central banks or the regulatory authorities, they don't want to set up their data outside their jurisdiction.
Yes.
So jurisdictional matter is also coming, even though they, we are for a safer side, different virtual places where we are creating and for protecting data. Where do you see that the regulation, it will support for multiple level of the economical or economies, data keeping? Or
yeah, this is a part of what I've mentioned earlier. Is like the regulations of technologies, like the governments. It's like based on, it's like every day they are updating something because technology is every day is changing, it is developing. So they have to be up to date to whatever is happening. Because there are always intelligent people, smart people who try to prove something with technology by bringing new technology, which might be better than like a blockchain or iCloud, or people. There's these hackers who goes and on their own intelligence and skills, they like to challenge things.
Yeah.
So the governments, they have to be, they are aware about this one, and they are keeping somehow eye on, they are keeping the eye on these kind of changes to create their rules and regulation based on to protect themselves and even to protect the market, the people in the market.
Right. That is important.
Yeah.
Again, the cryptocurrency, we cannot avoid that cryptocurrency as well. Abu Dhabi global market, Abu Dhabi itself, they are opening up for the crypto exchanges. So new regulations has come up. So in that perspective, the central banks, they want to start their own cryptocurrencies. Yes. So what is your views on that?
I think they already started.
Yes.
UAE and Saudi Arabia, they have started their own cryptocurrency. I am sure, I'm not just thinking, I'm sure that within a few years, there will be only cryptocurrency, no paper currency. So that era will go, a new era will come.
So education to currency level, everything is going to change, and very much thankful to you. It was a wonderful presentation.
Thank you very much, Mr. Adnan, and may I request Mr. Sajid Kumar, our CEO, to kindly hand over a token of respect to Mr. Adnan, please. Thank you very much, sir. That was Mr. Adnan Muhammad bin Abdullah, the chairman of Al Ansar Group of Companies, talking on the subject, the future of technology-oriented education with special focus to artificial intelligence and IoT. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll have the lunch break right now. We'll be joining at 2 o'clock sharp with the panel discussion. Thank you very much.